Hi, it's Maggie the Irish Gypsy here to bring you your June 2021 mid-month general reading. We're looking at the last 2 weeks of June. This reading is for our Rams, the beautiful fire sign of Aries. Welcome, everyone. I hope you're all doing well as we continue to move back into reconstructing our lives again. Thanks for being here, for taking the time to tune in, for your likes, shares, hitting that subscribe button, your donations, comments, feedback, reaching out for personal readings. Each and every one of those things is very welcome and appreciated. Thank you. So this reading is for Aries for the last 2 weeks of June 2021. That's if your sun, moon, rising, or Venus sign is in Aries. It's also relevant if you're cross-watching for an Aries as well. Of course, it's going to resonate a little differently for everyone. It's a general reading. Watch all of your signs for additional insight and perspective. And if you do find that any of the readings resonate with you, you'd like to reach out and get a personal reading, take a deeper look at something for yourself or perhaps as a gift for someone else, you can email me directly at Maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. I'd be delighted to hear from you. You can also get that same contact details by clicking on the little arrow, the description link below. I do offer a wide variety of readings, and I'm pretty diligent about setting up personal readings in as timely a fashion as possible. It's all that I do. Personal readings, it's all that I do, 5 or 6 days a week. So I try to work pretty well with people's schedules. Okay. Let's see what's going on for Aries for the last 2 weeks of June. Your cards, Aries, are like all over the place, having a hard time kind of coming together here. Okay, Aries. Oh, wow. We begin with the Devil. For those of you who need to know, want to know, I'm using primarily the Tarot of Dreams, clarifying with the Rider-Waite, the Radiant Rider-Waite Tarot. So we begin with the Devil, so some toxic cycles there. With the Six of Swords, healing, vastly different energies, contradictory energies, push and pull, temptations to go back into a familiar pattern. Perhaps that's why your cards are going all over the place. There's a sense of being pulled in 2 different directions here. The Star, how beautiful. Renewed hope, restored faith. In the tarot, the Star comes after that challenging Tower card to light the way after the breakdown of something, to say there's hope, stay on the path, devote yourself. The Ten of Swords. My goodness, such radically different cards. The Devil, the Ten of Swords. The Star, the Six of Swords. The Two of Swords. It's a mental, lots of air. It's a mental 2 weeks for you, Aries. The Two of Swords, stuck, blind, don't know what to do, don't want to know what to do. A reluctance or a resistance to let the blindfold fall off so that you can see the choice in front of you and clearly choose a path. Perhaps something you're trying to avoid. The Nine of Coins, independence, self-sufficiency, needing to rely or depend on nobody but yourself. Being able to do that. From the bottom of the deck, the overall energy for the last 2 weeks of June, the Seven of Wands, defensive, guarded, protecting, staying aligned, holding on to something, defending something. Even perhaps if it's not worth defending anymore, because okay, Aries. I'm getting this strong sense of kind of being balanced on the edge of a knife, and it's an uncomfortable place to be. It feels like we have the Seven of Wands here as overall energy for the last 2 weeks of June. The Seven of Wands is a card of standing up for yourself or someone else, defending something that you have a lot invested in, right? In other decks, it shows this man actually standing in front of an open door to his home, his castle, his keep. There's obviously something he's put a lot of work or dedication into, or something that he's built himself. It could be an ideology or a belief system, and he's defending it because it's being threatened or challenged by somebody else. And sometimes this card can show up for like you're literally defending yourself or someone else. You're standing up for what you believe is right. But sometimes it can represent holding on to an ideology, a belief system, a way of life, not necessarily because you need to hold on to it anymore, just because that's what you're used to. And I'm all for having that sort of thing challenged, because it can either help you clarify what that is for you and make it more, clarify the importance of it to you, or having something, an ideology or belief system or perspective challenged, can actually, in the process of defending it, you can sometimes come to the realization that it's not something you need to hold on to or be so defensive about, which is kind of what I'm getting here. There's a temptation to go back into something, or you're actively struggling with some kind of temptation, and that's represented by the devil. The devil always represents some kind of temptation. The thing itself might not be bad, but the devil represents that it's, the attention and obsessiveness with it has become unhealthy, like, alcohol or some drugs, or a sense of being independent and not wanting to ask for help, or wanting to only rely on yourself and never needing anything from anybody else. Addictions, mental health issues, all kinds of things, toxic, negative relationships. The devil represents circular energy, that's become so obsessive and focused in one area that it harms everything else around it, including the holder, And while what the devil represents specifically for you is going to vary, it's a general reading, there's something tempting, there's something alluring, it's what right? Underneath it, though, we have the Six of Swords, which is a card of healing, of moving away from, negative, challenging situations and slowly moving into something else. A more peaceful, calming, placid time. You're not quite to the other shore and on solid ground yet, but you're definitely moving towards that. Even if you're not sure how it's going to work out. Again, I feel this struggle of wanting to go back to whatever the devil card represents for you. It could be a literal addiction that you're struggling with, drugs, alcohol, sex, gambling, shopping, working, a relationship. It could be a cycle, a pattern, a way of life, a way of choosing here, a way of living your life, maybe being too independent. We have the Star here, which is a card of having hope and faith again after the Tower card, which is an unexpected event, which often destroys something or brings something crashing down that you thought was going to last forever, right? We don't have the Tower card here, but the Star card in the tarot comes after that, after the smoke clears, and the Star card says, there's still life meant to be lived and joy in front of you. Just keep putting one foot in front of the other. It's one of the wish fulfillment cards, but it's a card that represents, faith. It's moving forward step by step in faith, which means that you can't see where it's going. You can't quite see the outcome. You're being asked to have faith and move forward. We have the Ten of Swords here, betrayal, heartache, feelings thrown under the bus, but at an end, with the 10 representing cycles ending. So after whatever it is that happened in the past, there's still hope. Whatever it is that you're struggling with right now, tempted to go back into or repeat the same cycle or the same choices again, regardless of what that specifically is, there's hope here. The Two of Swords, feeling stuck, feeling resistant, not wanting to make a choice. The Nine of Cups, somebody who's worked really hard to get to a point where they rely on themselves, they depend on themselves, they can take care of themselves really quite comfortably. It may be for some of you that you're being asked to, I don't know, maybe this is a relationship issue and you're being asked to for some of you, it could be relationship. For others of you, it could be a literal substance abuse problem. It could be, taking a relationship to a different level or moving it forward in some way. I feel like you've been hurt in the past, and that's why I feel like you've been hurt and let down in the past. I feel like you've been in situations in the past, Aries, where there wasn't anybody there as a safety net for you, that there wasn't anybody there to catch you. And maybe even the person or persons that you thought weren't there for you, or let you down, or stabbed you in the back or something. And so perhaps you learned maybe quite a long time ago, that the safest way to be was the Nine of Coins. Nothing wrong with the Nine of Coins. It's a card that speaks of independence and self-empowerment and not being codependent on anyone else. But carried to an obsessive extreme, it actually locks people out as well and locks you in. And it may be that this thing that you're struggling with, this choice, this crossroads that I feel that you're at, you're being tempted or pulled by this devil card energy to do the thing you've always done before. But on the other side, you're being asked to do something different and to trust, which is really difficult for you because you have the Ten of Swords in your past. It's safer to be independent. Of course, that means going solo. Perhaps if you don't reach out for help, if you don't invite someone in, you're going to lose. This defensiveness may end up costing you. Let's clarify the Seven of Wands. It feels like for some of you, Aries, that you're holding on to a belief, an ideology, a way of life, or a way of behaving, a way of making choices where you don't allow anybody else to come in because of what might happen, because of what happened in the past. But I feel like that's not serving you anymore, or in this situation, that's not going to serve you to try and do this solo, or to go back to being... The Two of Swords. We have the Two of Swords twice. Really stuck, really resistant to really taking that blindfold off and saying, okay, I can go this way or I can go this way. The Three of Swords, heartache, heartbreak, breakup. The Ten of Swords again. Yeah, I feel like somewhere in your past, Aries, you were hurt quite badly. And you pulled everything back to include a world of one, because that was the safest way to be, and that's how you feel it needs to be moving forward. But I feel like that's showing to be actually has come so... It's actually not a form of... It's actually a form of enslavement. The Nine of Coins can mean independence and being free from codependent chains on other people, places, or things in a negative way. But if it becomes so obsessive, then you actually become enslaved simply to the idea or the illusion of freedom, or that you don't need anybody else. Clarify the Devil. The Ace of Pentacles, moving, relocating, a new job, a new start. The Two of Pentacles, the choice, starting over again, moving, taking off, leaving. The King of Wands behind that. That's you, Leo, Aries, Sagittarius. Strength, which is what's needed to battle through the Devil card energy. Yeah, I feel like you're being asked, regardless of the specifics, Aries, it feels like you're being asked to trust in an area that you have been seriously let down in before, and you're afraid. And the temptation is go, nope, I can do this on my own. I don't need to do this at all. I'm going to go off on my own. I'm going to start over again. I'm going to, whatever. Clarify the Six of Swords. Death. And the Two of Cups. Clarify the Ten of Swords. The Nine of Swords and the Four of Swords. So many sword card energies. Such a mental period of time. Lots of thinking. Maybe overthinking. Clarify the Two of Swords. The Six of Pentacles. Yeah, I just keep getting this sense of feeling pulled. It is likely some kind of relationship or partnership energy before. I feel like some of you are in a partnership. You know, it's like you're in a relationship with someone and it's a pretty good relationship, maybe even a really good relationship. You don't want to move it further. You don't want to make any more decisions about the future of this relationship. Even though the other person might want that, there's something here that you're not willing to give out because you're afraid that the past, what happened in the past, is going to happen again in this situation. And so you're fighting yourself, basically. Clarify the Nine of Coins, this independence, self-sufficiency, relying on yourself. The Seven of Wands, again, defending that, yeah. The Devil card. So that tells us there, Aries. It's very strong, these blocks and this resistance here. There's an obsessive energy about, I'm not going to open myself up again. Because to rely on anybody other than myself brings disaster and heartache and heartbreak and ruin, and I don't want to do that. But yet, it may cost you what you have now if you're not willing to make a decision on this thing. And I think for many of you, it's a relationship issue. And it's a difficult place to be in because the Devil times 2 represents how strong of a pull your old patterns are and how horrible whatever this Ten of Swords was in the past was. And you're being asked to have faith and trust again, right? And it's like this push and pull, being pulled in two different directions. Free will, free agency, right? But this normally lovely Nine of Coins, working hard and depending on yourself, has become negatively obsessive. What you see as freedom has actually become a form of enslavement to you, mentally, emotionally, psychically. You feel like going your own way and staying that way, or not opening yourself up and not relying on, keeps you free, but your obsession with it actually, it's just like a collar and a leash. So, all right, before this turns into a big lecture, let's just pull some final messages, guidance, advice from Spirit. Oh, your cards just slipping all over the place. Any final messages, guidance, advice for Aries for the last 2 weeks of June 2021? Six of Swords. It's time to heal. The Devil twice, the Six of Swords twice. What a battle, Aries. The Seven of Pentacles. Take a look at everything you have invested in what you have in this other relationship or partnership. There's a lot here, a lot invested in that. Eight of Wands, movement forward, travel. The Knight of Cups, the offer of love, support, encouragement. Ace of Cups, new love and romance. Ace of Swords. You're being asked to do it differently this time. You're being asked to trust. You're being asked to, I'm surprised I'm not seeing the Fool here, kind of step off the path of what you know, out of this defensive, protected, guarded energy, and take a look at, it feels like you have something to lose. If you fall back into that devil pattern, you're going to lose something that's important to you, likely some kind of relationship or partnership. You're being asked to take a look at what you have invested in it. Are you willing to lose that? Because I think you will, if you don't face your fears and walk through them and make the offer to move forward with this person. That's what I'm getting. Regardless of whether it's a love, romance, relationship, or a best friend or family member, you know, you're being asked to trust in a way that, you know, that you were disappointed in, and there's like nothing harder, right? You know, in the face of what you know to be true based on your own negative experiences, you know, you don't want that happening again. Who would? I mean, the Ten of Swords is a terrible energy, you know? I mean, well, I mean, it's at an and too, but, you know, it's usually represented as somebody having 10 swords in their back. but you're being asked to trust nonetheless because of what that leads to, that it really leads to the Star card, restored, renewed hope, faith, and optimism. And it's difficult because it requires walking a path of faith after you've seen your tower fall down, right? But that's what you're being asked to do here. Free will, free agency. But if you don't, I think it could cost you something quite lovely. Okay, enough. Those are your messages, Aries. I hope they've been helpful. And again, if any of this resonates with you enough, you want to reach out for a personal reading, take a deeper look at something, click on the description link below for more info. Email me directly at Maggie_McGuire@gmail.com. I'd be most happy to hear from you. I will see you all in a couple of weeks for the July general readings. Until then, stay well, stay safe, be blessed, be strong. I hope to see you back here again soon. Bye-bye.